Good morning, guys. If you can hear me, I'm just admitting the others. Morning, Hassan Rahim. Kunuz. Lion. Kiara. Mariam Naqib. Usama. Ryan. Tadrus. Yasmin Said. And Yasmin Sa'a. Yasin. And Yusuf Awad. Yasin. Yusuf Awad. Okay, guys. Good morning, everybody.
Mister, you didn't say my name.
Who are you? You're Jana Graihi?
Yes.
I have Jana Walid. Jana Walid is Jana Osman.
No.
Jana Osman. I accepted Jana Walid.
Mami, Jana Garayh, yes.
You are okay, Garaihi. So
Yes.
Jana Osman.
Mister, did you say my name?
Jana Osman hasn't joined us yet. So I have Ganna Gouda quickly, Abdurrahman Baghdadi, Walid, Alia Walid, Kiara, Ganna, Gouda, Hassan Gouda, Hassan Ruhaim, Haya, Jana, Garaihi, Kunuz, Layan, Mariam Naqib, Usama, Ryan Tadros, Yasmin Sa'a, Yasmin Said, Yusuf Awad, Ganna Tamer, Hassan Gouda, Yasmin Sa'a, Yasmin Said. Sorry. So I have, and this is Noreen. Noreen. I have, how many students? Okay, I have 22 students in the room now. Guys, I received 20 responses to the quiz. This means nine people, sorry, haven't submitted. And this means, I don't know what this means indeed. And I gave you 10 more minutes, believe it or not. I gave you at the beginning 25 minutes, and then I gave you 10 more minutes, hoping that other people would submit, but nobody submitted, apart from Mariam Naqib and two other people who submitted late. Okay, so I gave you for this quiz 35 minutes, and nine people haven't submitted yet. I'm not sure what was wrong with you. Anybody didn't submit here? Because you are 22. You are more than the number who submitted. Who hasn't submitted, guys? Who hasn't submitted? Can you hear me, guys? Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so why are you all silent? Who hasn't submitted his or her quiz yet? Noreen? Noreen? Noreen,
Yes.
can you hear me? Have you submitted?
Yes.
Okay, so who hasn't, guys? Who hasn't submitted his or her quiz yet? You all have submitted? Okay, I'll share the screen. Sorry. The third. So what about PISinter, guys? Can you see the screen here? Please, grade 11, answer my questions. Can you see the screen?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. I have 12 people only on PISinter. This means 17 people haven't joined us yet. I have Abdurrahman Boghdadi, Janna Gouda, Hassan Gouda, Hassan Ruhaim, Haya, Layan, Lulwa, Mariam, Ryan, Tadrus, Yasin, and Yahya. What about the other 19 or 17 guys? Why haven't you joined PISinter yet? Any answer, please?
مستر أنا ممكن أبعت لحضرتك هو عامل لي إن أنا عملت submit.
Who is this, Noreen?
Oh.
Okay, Noreen, you have submitted. I can see your name here. Let me check. Okay, I'll tell you the names who submitted. Martina Salama was the first to submit. Yasin, Ryan, those are the people who submitted. Martina, Yasin, Ryan, Janna Hamzawi, Layan Matar, Abdurrahman Boghdadi, Usama Darwish, Jana Ahmed, Hassan Gouda, Kunuz Hassan, Hassan Ruhaim, Tadrus Isa, Abdurrahman الدمهوجي, عليا الدمهوجي, ياسين السقا, نورين عباس, يوسف عبده, جنة جودة, مريم نقيب, and Haya al-Masri. These are 20 students who have submitted. This means 9 people haven't submitted yet. Kiara, have you submitted? Kiara?
Yes, mister.
Yes?
Yes.
But I can see your name here, Kiara. Did I read your name? Kiara is not here on the list. I refreshed the page. Maybe you submitted late.
Yes.
It's the same number. 20 people. Kiara, you haven't submitted. And again, I gave you 10 more minutes. I gave you 35 minutes, not 25 minutes only. I'm not sure what's wrong with you. Okay, so today we are supposed to do grammar, chapter 25. So please, guys, please join PISinter as soon as possible. And after this session in the break, please try to join PISinter. I gave you the link on our Facebook group. Try to finish as soon as possible, please, because you'll do your project on this page.
Mister.
Yes, raise your voice, please.
This PISinter, it doesn't want me to sign in. I tried, but it
I
doesn't
asked your
want.
friends what they did because I'm not good at this, but Tadros had a problem and he solved it. And you have 12 people who have joined us successfully. Use your Microsoft account, your school account, and ask your friends what they did, and I think it will be easy, inshallah. Okay? So today we're going to do grammar, chapter 25, remember? Chapter 25. And before every chapter, you know, we have a diagnostic test, which revises what you studied in previous years. I want you to answer with me, please. We have some questions here. We want to finish them quickly. This is the title of the unit is about double negatives and some usage mistakes as we will see later. Skill check A, choose the word in parentheses that best completes each sentence. Who can do number 1 quickly? Who can do number 1 quickly? Okay, Ryan, go ahead.
There isn't anything new about this.
Anything. Thank you. Number 2. Number 2. Put your hands up, please, and be active. Thank you, Ryan. Abdurrahman Boghdadi, can you do number 2 quickly? Boghdadi?
Yes, miss.
Okay, do number 2 quickly.
In very ancient times, people give thanks for harvest so that they wouldn't anger Any gods?
Any gods. Thank you. Ruhaim, number 3.
The early pilgrims weren't here, but 1 year when they held at the first Thanksgiving.
Were or weren't?
Weren't.
The early pilgrims here, but 1 year. Only 1 year. But here means 1 year when they held the first Thanksgiving. They were here, Hassan. They were here only 1 year, okay? Okay, number 3, where they were only, they were here, but 1 year when they held the first Thanksgiving. Jana Garahi, number 4.
Today people can hardly wait for their Thanksgiving feasts.
Thank you, Ken. Okay, I have some raised hands. Hassan Gouda, number 5.
We enjoy
Raise your
many
voice,
other,
Hassan, please.
we enjoy many other festivals now because of the many immigrants who didn't like to leave any of their
Any,
any of
thank
them.
you very much. Any, the answer is any. Thank you all. Okay, let's move to skill check B. Identify whether each of these sentences does or does not use understatement. If you remember, understatement is the use of two negative things, like I don't dislike. I have not here, I do not, and this, and the verb like, I give the negative meaning, dislike. Not and dislike, this is understatement, and we'll study it soon. So who can do number 1? Does number 6, sorry, does number 6 use understatement or does not? Which sentence or which sentences use understatement and which sentences don't? Number 1. طيب Alia Walid, can you do it? Alia? Alia? Alia Walid? Alia? Okay, Kiara, can you do number 1? So Alia is absent. Sorry. Kiara?
Yes, use.
It uses understatement, right? Before we have not,
Yes.
not, and un. Street fairs are not uncommon. We have not and un. Two negative expressions. This is understatement. Number 7, Haya. Can you do number 7, Haya?
It doesn't use understatement.
Perfect. Mariam, number 8.
There's no understatement.
No understatement. Thank you. 9. Guys, 9. 9, I'll choose Ganna Gouda. Ganna Gouda, 9. Is there understatement in 9? Ganna?
No.
No, thank you. Thank you, Ganna. Number 10, I have Yasmin, sorry, Yasmin. Number 10.
Use understatement.
Yes, it uses understatement because we have not and we have dislike. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to skill check, sorry, C. Choose the word in parentheses that best completes each sentence. We have about 15 sentences. Alia, where have you been, Alia? You're back?
لا المايك ما كان راضي يفتح.
علي عايز اسمع صوتك. I never hear your voice والله. Okay. So
ما I raised my hand.
no problem. So you're back, alhamdulillah. Number 11. Choose the best word. Quickly. Number 11. Then. Thank you. Number 12, guys. Number 12. Noreen, can you do 12? Noreen. Noreen. طيب. Lion. Good morning, Lion. Lion.
Yes, mister.
Can you do number 12?
Yes.
Choose the best word. The first float to proceed or precede down a parade route
Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes. Yes, Lion, can you hear me? Lion. Okay, Yusuf Awad, can you do number 12? Yusuf Awad?
Proceed.
Sir,
Proceed.
can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you, Lion.
Yes, sorry.
So, Lion,
Which
Yusuf answered 12. Yusuf said the first float to proceed. Proceed means go on. Proceed down a parade route was made, but precede means come after. Precede means come after, and we're going to study this later. Lion, can you do 13?
yes, affect with the E.
Effect with E, the noun. Thank you. I have two raised hands, I think. Knuz, can you do 14? And then Knuz, can you do 14? They.
Yes, Mister.
Can you do
They adopted some old customs to a new culture.
We have two. Adopted or adapted?
Adopted.
Adapted. They adapted, they changed it, they edited, right? They adapted some old customs. You know, customs means habits to a new culture. So they adapted these customs. Number 15, who
مستر وحضرتك نادتني
who are you?
نورين.
Noreen, yes, I did. Were you sleeping, lady?
لا سوري يا مستر بس كنت بعمل حاجة.
Answer a question. Okay, Nadine. Alia Walid is still raising her hand. Do you want to answer or you forgot it? Alia? طيب, Ryan, can you do 15?
I forgot it بس ممكن answer يعني.
No problem. Take your time. Ryan,
Yes.
can you do 15, please?
Second.
Take your time.
Anywhere.
Anywhere, thank you. I have Tadrus, then Jana Garaihi. Okay, Tadrus, do 16. Yeah, Jana 17.
Nevertheless, a lot of people the second one.
A lot, the second word.
Yes.
This is not an English word, Tadrus.
About the first one.
The first one. The second one, a lot, should be written as two words, not as one word. Okay. Jana Garaihi, number 17.
Different from.
Different from. Thank you. Different from. Because by mistake, some people say different than. Different than is not standard English. Number 18, I have 4 raised hands. Number 18 will go to Bughdadi. Then Yasin can do 19. Bughdadi. Bughdadi 18. Bughdadi, are you thinking or you can't hear me? طيب Yasin, can you do 18?
Yes, Mr. معلش النتورك.
Okay, Bughdadi, you'll do 19. Yasin will do 18. Yasin?
Okay.
Among?
Among. Thank you, Yasin. Among, you know, among is used with more than 2 people. Between is 2 people, 2 groups, 2 things, but among more than 2. We are in the class, we are 23 now in this room. Among us, there is a teacher. Among us, there is a teacher. One of us, right? And you know the game, Among Us. Abdurrahman Bughdadi, can you do 19?
Principles, second one.
Principles, PLES. The second one. Thank you. Number 20, I still have some raised hands. Hassan Ruhaim, 20.
Effect, the second one.
Effect spelled with E. Thank you. Okay. Tayyib Noreen, do 21, please. Noreen, 21.
Yes مستر. First one مستر.
2, yes, the first word, 2. You can often see fireworks too. Jana Garaihi, 22.
Except.
Except, okay, thank you. Tadrus, 23. Tadrus. Can you hear me, Tadros?
Yes, mister.
Okay, can you do 23, please?
ماشي. The first one,
The
regardless.
first one, because irregardless is not an English word, or it's an invented word, and it's not a standard English word. Okay, number 24. I still have 2 sentences only. 24 will go to, who wants to answer, guys? Kiara, can you do 24, please? Kiara?
Yes.
Okay.
Teach.
Teach, yes, teach. When you teach, you give. When you learn, you take. Thank you, Kiara. 25, Knuz. Knuz.
Teach.
Okay, thank you, Kiara. Knuz. Knuz, 25. Knuz, are you there? Knuz. I will see. Mariam Naqib, can you do 25?
Yes, mister.
Mhm.
Eager.
Eager, because anxious means very, very worried. It's wrong to use it in this context. We are eager to. When you are eager to do something, you want to do it very much. You are looking forward to it. Thank you very much. Okay, let's start. So this is 25, chapter 25, remember? So chapter 25 for sure is in the exam. Negative sentences, recognizing double negatives. The use of 2 negative words when one is sufficient is called a double negative, and this is not standard English. This is not standard English. When one negative word is enough or is sufficient, it's wrong to use a double negative, okay? Do not write sentences with double negatives. Notice in the examples in the chart below that double negatives can be corrected in 2 ways. Let's look at the chart. Here on the left, we have double negatives. On the right, we have corrections. Tom doesn't like no carnival rides. Here we have not and no, which is double negative. We can correct in 2 ways, like here. Tom doesn't like any, but we use any. Any is not a negative word. No is a negative word. So Tom doesn't like any carnival rides, but we can replace no by any. Number 2, we can say Tom likes no. Use no only. And we don't need the helping verb and not after it. Tom likes no carnival rides. Number 2, nobody. Nobody is a negative word. Can't, here we have not. So we have double negative here. March in the parade. Nobody can't march in the parade. So we can correct it this way. Nobody can march in the parade, or they can't march in the parade. Number 3, the band never played none. We have the word never, a negative word, and the word none, another negative word. If the band played none, this is one way of correcting it, or the band never played any. We can use any. Any is not a negative word. Some sentences can correctly contain more than one negative word. Notice in the example below, however, that each clause contains only one negative word. If this is a sentence, it has 2 clauses. We need a negative word in each clause. This is okay. This is not wrong. Look at this sentence. The girls didn't go to the fair. This is the first clause. This is the main clause, right? The girls didn't go to the fair. So we have not here one negative word, because the second clause, the subordinate clause, because they had no money. But these are 2 clauses. In each clause, I have a negative word. Yes, I have 2 negative words in the same sentence, but it's still meaningful. It's not wrong. Okay, let's move on to the next page. Forming negative sentences correctly. There are 3 ways of making a sentence negative using one negative word, one only. The most common method of writing negative sentences is to use a single negative word, such as never, no, nobody, nothing, nowhere, not, or the contraction N'(T) for not added to a helping verb, like hasn't, haven't, wouldn't, can't, and so on. Do not use two negative words in the same clause, as we said. Double negative, the cotton candy wasn't no good. It's common in spoken English, guys, to hear such a sentence that it wasn't no and so on. But in standard English, it's not correct. So this can be corrected this way. The cotton candy wasn't any good. Any, again, we can replace no by any. Or the cotton candy was bad. Use the opposite of the adjective we have. Using but in a negative sentence, but used negatively means only. Remember Abdurrahman or Hassan Ruhaim's sentence, I think? He chose weren't the time it was were, because but here means only, okay? And should not be used with another negative word. When but means only, it should not be used with another negative word. So when Hassan said weren't, we have not, we can't use not and but. When but means only, when but means only, don't use it with another negative word. Look at the concept. Do not use but in its negative sense when it means only with another negative word. The circus doesn't have but. The circus doesn't have but. The use of but here, which means only, with not, is double negative. How can we correct it? The circus has, so we make it positive, not negative, but one big top, or the circus has only one big top. Okay, using barely, you know, barely means almost not, hardly, almost not, scarcely, almost not. Do not use these words with another negative words because, or another negative word, sorry, because they mean not. I hardly slept last night. I can say I didn't hardly sleep last night, because hardly means almost not. Barely, remember these three words: barely, hardly, and scarcely. In addition to but, when it means only, don't use these four words with a negative, another negative word, because this is considered double negative. Look at the examples. Again, the concept: do not use barely, hardly, or scarcely with another negative. We didn't barely, so we have not and barely, which is wrong here. So we barely, delete didn't. My family doesn't hardly, so we have hardly with not. This is wrong. My family hardly. They hadn't scarcely. We have hadn't and scarcely in one sentence, which is wrong. They had scarcely, and this is how we correct it. Okay, we'll skip the exercise. Using negatives to achieve understatement. Sometimes a writer wishes to express an idea indirectly, either to minimize the importance of the idea or to draw attention to it. One such technique is called understatement. Understatement can be achieved by using a negative word and a word with a negative prefix. But this is the difference between understatement and double negative. In double negatives, we use two negative words like not and no, like not and never, okay? But understatement, again, is the use of a negative word and a word with a negative prefix, like not and this, or not and un. I am not unhappy, for example. This is an understatement, sorry. She was hardly a negative word. Inexperienced. Here we have the prefix, the negative prefix in. Judging contests. Maria does not dislike. We have not and the prefix, the negative prefix this. This is understatement. I think that's all. Okay, that's all for this part. Tomorrow, inshallah, we're going to study section 2, which is some common usage problems, like the difference between affect and effect, principle and principle, and some of the stuff we did in checklist number 3. So guys, I'll end the session here, but before ending the session, I want to know why those who haven't submitted the quiz haven't done, because this means you'll get 0. I have 9 people who haven't submitted. And please join us on PISinter as soon as possible, because maybe this week I'll tell you what to do with your project. You'll use PISinter to make a comic on a specific situation I'll tell you later. So please join PISinter as soon as possible and don't be lazy. يعني, when I compare 11 to 12, 12 are much more active than you indeed. I'm sorry to say that. Please join PISinter as soon as possible. Okay, because it's important for your project. Any question before I end? Any question before I end the session?
No, يا مستر.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Assalamu alaikum.